I decided to do my video on food because I thought to myself, what better way of illustrating human dependency than to use something that not only started the concept of a power figure, but also started the dependency on that central power figure. I make pizzas roughly every Saturday of the week, and I put a moderate amount of different foods on it. So I found that the process in making a pizza would be the perfect way not to only show the dependency of myself, but to show the dependency of most humans in general on a global scale. This time around, the food I used to make the pizza is bacon, mushrooms, pepperoni, red onions, sausages, cheese, pizza sauce, and the pizza dough itself. Another item I used to create the pizza was none other than the rolling pin. The one that I used was made of marble. So in order to obtain it, marble was mined in quarries by a group of people, probably who look more like this. Then it was either transported by truck, if it was local marble from the USA or Canada, or was shipped globally, probably from Pakistan, who is the world leader in exported marble. The wooden handles could easily be obtained locally, and let's not forget the people and machines that allowed the marble to be forged into the cylinder shape that it is. Another key item that I needed to make pizza was the ever so convenient stove. I wouldn't have it if it weren't for the designers of the stove, or the people who physically made the pieces and put the stove together for the final product. Not to forget about the ones who actually extracted and transported the metals and minerals needed, or of course the obvious helper called heat. Now let's get back to what this is really about. Food. I'm going to start with some of my personal favorites. Bacon, that comes from pigs. Pepperoni, that's also pigs. Sausages, you can probably guess it, pigs. I gotta give them a pat on the back, they've done my taste buds well. They most likely went to the slaughterhouse, unfortunately, and then shipped off to various factories to be processed into various foods like bacon, sausages, and pepperonis. But don't forget about the fellow farmers who also fed the pigs such things as corn and wheat, keep them healthy and lively before we can get a piece of them on our own plates. Next up we have mushrooms. They are almost always grown and harvested from mushroom farms, which for the most part have migrated indoors, where an ideal temperature and humidity level for mushrooms can be acquired. Onions aren't much different. Their farms are just located outdoors due to the fact that they're a plant and they need sunlight if they want to grow properly. But they're harvested by the good old farmers nevertheless. Cheese mainly comes from the milk that cows give us, which is extracted using manual labor or with the use of machine pumps. But who keeps these cows alive, you may ask? Again, the farmer has the duty of maintaining the cow's well-being. If you're feeling the need for exotic cheese, you can always buy various cheeses that have been imported from countries such as Italy and Switzerland. It just means that you're depending on that many more people around the world. Pizza dough is common and simple to make. You just need grinded flour, grinded grain, and some warm water, with the optional hints of yeast, salt, and olive oil. To grind up the grain, silos are usually needed, which are designed by engineers, and the materials are gathered by miners and then shipped to factories where they are conceived and constructed into a final project. In other words, there's even more people that I'm depending on now. Pizza sauce is pretty simple to make. It's made from tomatoes and then mixed with various peppers and spices that are usually all conveniently grown by the farmers. Though certain spices may have to be imported from certain areas in the world, such as India or China, adding yet more people that I have to depend on. But why do all that thinking when I can go over to the nearest grocery store and pick up all these products, come home, make the pizza, and eat it in less than 6 hours? You should do that thinking, because most likely you're not the only one making your dinner tonight. Chances are it's also the help of many people locally and worldwide that allow you to have that meal available to you. If we're that dependent on that many people to make one meal for us during the day, that is quite the global burden if you ask me. Because every industry is impacted by the downfall of another industry, especially in the food market. I never once thought that I'd be that dependent on people, for food really, not including any electronics, or any homing, or heating, anything like that, just food in general. That's hundreds of people, all the miners, the designers, tool makers, farmers, all of them, locally and worldwide. I think I'd ever be that dependent on people. If I'm not dependent already, and I'm only 19, then how much more dependent can I actually become? How much more dependent in general for the human population become? Because I generally didn't really look at myself as a dependent person. But if I don't look at myself that way and I don't feel that way, but yet I'm dependent on that many people, then how much more can it actually get? It's pretty bad if you ask me, because we all went from hunter and gatherers all the way up into civilized nations, civilized countries. But if you ask me, it's just kind of gone down in the independency part of it, because now instead of going out and getting our stuff ourselves, or with tribes or family or something, anything related to us, we now just go into a general market where we just buy what we desire and don't think twice about it. Or some people do. They, look at stuff twice, three times and see if it's good, or they pick up, a better one in their eyes. But in general, I don't think many people look at it, the way that I've looked at it in the past few weeks, the past few months, really. But, if it's going to come that way, then it's not going to look good. It's not going to be good, since it already doesn't look good. But, can't really stop what's been going on for tens of thousands of years. Well, I guess you could, but you need a lot of cooperation from people. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.